Our suffering is increasing due to the intense heat. The bullet came out of the gun with a faster speed than the ball, and when it gets close to our Earth, it will pass between our satellites and the Earth. Seriously, we're not talking about some sci-fi movie scene here. This is a real event that's going to happen. It's not going to come back for a few years. It's just an asteroid with its own name, and you might want to remember it for once. And if yes, then this is the one that finally allows us to face the disaster. Can it be like the Great Extinction, which wiped out the dinosaurs millions of years ago? And the most important question is, if we know so much about it, what are our scientific options to save us from this massive disaster? Since the discovery of Apophis in 2004, it has been kept on high alert by astronomers till today. This asteroid, named Apophis after the Egyptian god of chaos and destruction, has been discovered. This asteroid also justifies its name. This asteroid always serves as a reminder for us that there is a certain tranquility in looking into space. But the reality is that we live in such a cosmic neighborhood where our survival is a result of our own fortune. We are surrounded by such dangers that can annihilate us in an instant. But what if the threat of Apophis also becomes real? Then in this video today, we will know in detail about this asteroid coming in 2029. What is Apophis? Apophis, whose official name is 9942. Apophis. This is such an asteroid, which is classified in near-Earth objects or near-Earth objects. This massive space rock is almost 405 yards in diameter. If seen in height, it is almost as high as the Eiffel Tower and weighs about 20 million tons. In the entire history, it is the largest asteroid ever studied and monitored. But why? Because the initial observations of astronomers were suggesting that this asteroid has a 2.7% chance of hitting the Earth in 2029. And because of this reason, the entire scientific community was in shock. However, further researches were conducted on this asteroid, which ruled out the possibility of it hitting the Earth in 2029. But even after this, Apophis remains a serious danger for us. The threat of it colliding with Earth may have been averted, but its path in space is still very close to our planet, where even a slight change in its orbit can completely alter its path, which can significantly increase the chances of it colliding with Earth during its arrival. Look, there are countless asteroids in space right now, but Apophis is the one that scares us the most, and that's because it's still on a trajectory to Earth. We can't predict its future trajectories, which is why it's so important to keep an eye on it. And the worst part is that it's not just an asteroid, but the largest near-Earth object currently in our vicinity. And its fate and our fate are nowhere near intertwined. Mark this date on your calendars. The 2029 close approach on April 13th, 2029. Because on this day, Apophis is going to make a close approach, and this approach will be very close indeed. In the context of space, close means just around the corner. Know this. On that day, Apophis will be passing 621 miles away from Earth. This distance is so short that it will pass between many satellites. This event will be so amazing that it will include some parts of Europe, Africa, and Asia. This asteroid can be seen in the night sky from Earth with the naked eye. You can imagine seeing a large skyscraper as big as a mountain passing over your head. It will be romantic but also scary. But the good news for us is that scientists have ruled out the impact of Apophis in 2029, but the bad news is that there is a close approach in 2029, and this event will alter Apophis' trajectory and orbit to such an extent that predicting its orbit for the next possible impact is impossible. When this asteroid comes close to Earth, Earth's gravity will pull it towards itself. This will cause a slight change in its trajectory, and scientists believe that this slight change can deflect it from our Earth in the future. Perhaps in 2036, or again after its close approach in 2039, the chances of impact are not negligible. Then it remains on the radar of the scientific community. Why should the feelings be less? But those who will face this situation, they cannot be ignored in any situation. Apophis is likely to be the most dangerous asteroid in recorded history to date. And for the scientists, this will be a great opportunity. Why study this asteroid so closely? But somewhere, nowhere, this close approach is a reminder for us of how vulnerable our existence is in the cosmos. What if Apophis actually hit Earth? Let's talk about the worst case scenario. If Apophis really does hit Earth, if it really happens, then this impact will release about 1,200 megatons of energy. If we look at comparison, the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima only released 15 kilotons of energy, which means that the impact of Apophis will be equivalent to 80,000 Hiroshima bombs. If Apophis hits the Earth, then cities will be destroyed one after another. Everything within a radius of 50 to 100 kilometers will be instantly destroyed. Buildings, infrastructure, and even landscapes will also bear the brunt of this collision. The impact force will be so great that it will cause massive earthquakes and even volcanic eruptions on the entire Earth. Not only that, if the asteroid comes from under the sea, it will cause a huge tsunami, wiping out the entire coastline and causing its own damage. The shock of this impact could even be felt in the oceans across the entire Earth. The waves that will be created at the impact site will be so high, they will collide with the coastal line with unimaginable force. If we look at the magnitude of this event in comparison to historical impacts, such as the Chicxulub asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago, it would be nowhere near as large. Apophis does not have the capacity to wipe out all human civilization. However, the impact site and nearby areas would still suffer significant damage, something we have never seen before and can hardly imagine. The devastation would be on a truly terrifying scale for all of us. The impact that would have on the entire world would be incredibly dangerous. The Earth will be filled with atmospheric dust and debris, which will block the light of the sun for a century. Without sunlight, we could see a cooling effect on our Earth in the short term, similar to a nuclear winter. And this is not a good sign for humans. Trees, plants, and vegetation will start dying without sunlight, limiting the possibilities for humans to survive without crops. With less food and hunger on the rise, the environmental, economic, and human life that will be affected, its impact will not be felt today. Possible. It's safe to say that this is not some Hollywood movie plot where people are helpless and expect an impact. Our humanity has been preparing to deflect an asteroid impact for a long time. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Planetary Defense Coordination Office is at the forefront of tracking these hazardous near-Earth objects or near-Earth objects so that we can create better strategies to deal with it. National Aeronautics and Space Administration has been tracking Apophis since its discovery and with the help of advanced technology. Today we have a clear idea of this asteroid's trajectory. We knew about it decades ago. Tracking it is just a formality. National Aeronautics and Space Administration is working on such technology that will not only track this asteroid but also deflect it from its path. Double Asteroid Redirect Test or Double Asteroid Redirect Test is such a project in which an attempt is made to change the orbit of an asteroid by hitting it with a spacecraft. And its results will surely make you happy and satisfied. In reality, Double Asteroid Redirect Test successfully managed to cause a slight change in the orbit of an asteroid named Didymos by targeting it. National Aeronautics and Space Administration is not alone in this endeavor. Other space agencies like the European Space Agency are also working on similar projects. In total, we are vulnerable to threats and dangers from asteroids and our goal is to protect our planet from any cosmic threat. Of course, governments and citizens alike will have to be prepared for such threats. How will the governments react at that time? What will be the evacuation plans? If nothing is done in that condition, where to go, where to hide, and how to get back on track after the impact? All this is part of our planning. Could we survive an Apophis impact? Looking at it, the thought of tackling this asteroid is scary itself. But we should also understand that we are much more prepared today than ever before. Our modern technology has given us the power to tackle such events, which we could not even think of before. But we will also have to look at the other side of the coin. Let's be real, can we really handle Apophis in truth? On a local level, there's no doubt that the impact will be devastating. It will immediately destroy the entire surrounding area, but it will also depend on the population density. What will be the extent of the asteroid impact? If it hits a desert or a barren place where people don't live much, then the damage in that case won't be as much. But if it hits in the middle of a city, then the early warning system and evacuation plans will be severely tested. But only if we know about the impact site in advance. An entire city could disappear off the face of the earth, infrastructure and all. And the economic loss would be so great we might never recover. But humanity has faced such catastrophic events before. Earthquakes, tsunamis, nuclear and other natural disasters. We have always learned to start anew, and we will find a way to survive this asteroid impact as well. Why should we be concerned, even if the risk is very low? So why should we worry about Apophis in the first place? And if there's no chance of it hitting us, then why worry? Yes, and I'll tell you why. Space is unpredictable. Astronomers have ruled out the possibility that this asteroid will hit Earth in 2029. But the future approach of this cloud, such as in 2036 and beyond, is still uncertain. However, it is not possible to predict its orbit or trajectory, as even a slight change in its trajectory can change the entire future of the planet. This is not the only asteroid Apophis that we need to worry about. There could be other asteroids in space that could pose a direct threat to our planet, but we have not yet discovered them. We are capable of dealing with threats like Apophis to a certain extent. In 2013, a meteor exploded over Chelyabinsk in Russia, which shocked everyone. After all, a meteor can sneak into our atmosphere and no one would know until it's on the news. It missed hitting Apophis, but it still caused damage to several buildings and injured about 1,500 people. Do you know what was the worst part of this event? We didn't detect that threat until it was too late. That's why it's essential that we are always prepared to deal with any threat. Apophis is not the kind of asteroid that will wipe out the entire Earth or human race. But it is a serious reminder for us that we are not completely safe from the threats coming from space. When, where, who will come from, there is no idea about it. The good thing is that we are prepared, then whether it is an apocalypse or any other disaster, we humans always try to understand this universe in the same way. What is your opinion on this, viewers? Please let us know in the comments. Friends, we will meet soon with another new video. Until then, stay curious, be happy,